All right, people. I'm sure you've noticed a decline in almost every government department. Policing, hospitals, bureaucracy, even something as basic as cleanliness on the streets. If you've noticed that, then I'm also sure you've noticed a decline in Western justice system. Think about it. The West used to be known for its rule of law. Other countries used to look at Western justice system with envy and try to emulate them. But today, justice system across the West has become a joke. There's a quote often attributed to Winston Churchill during the Blitz. He was asked if Britain was still a functioning country. In response, he asked, "Are our governments functioning properly?" Someone in the crowd yelled, "Yes, they are." To which he replied, "Then Britain is a functioning country." Isn't that amazing? A civilization that puts such an emphasis on justice system, today is nowhere to be seen. Today, other countries are probably looking at Western justice system and saying, we can be anything but them. And it's not just the UK. The UK might be the worst example in the Anglosphere countries, but it's pretty much the same everywhere. Let me give you some examples. This is Australia. This migrant, non-Australian, filmed 150 Australian women in toilets. Zero conviction because the judge did not want him to be deported.
He secretly filmed women inside toilets and showers, but Barefoot Cow doesn't appreciate the camera being pointed at him.
Mr. Cow, why did you upskirt women?
The Melbourne University biomedicine student, originally from Vietnam, walking from court on a community corrections order.
This video is going to be too long, so I'm going to be really quick with you. Look at this one. During sentencing for a horrific rape, an Australian judge had described the Sudanese rapist as a wonderful young man with a bright future. This is the quality of our society now, where wonderful young men go out and rape women. Again, not an isolated case. Look at this one. Australian New South Wales Supreme Court judge Sarah Huggett approved a bail application on Tuesday for Mohammed Pili Baik, a 49-year-old man accused of raping a female passenger in his Uber. An Uber driver did that. Let's go to our cultural ancestor, the United Kingdom. A British man sentenced to 2 years in prison for Facebook comments. Lucy Connolly was sentenced for 2 years in prison. Meanwhile, a North African asylum seeker who came to the UK on a boat and he abused 2 women but was spared jail after the judge was told he had no friends in the UK. Check out this woke judge. Judge Tracy Lloyd Clark, who sentenced an ex-British soldier to 2.5 years in prison for Facebook comments about Southport. The same judge pardoned a pedophile because she said prisons were overcrowded. Maybe then you should not put people in prison for Facebook comments. Tells you a lot about the priorities. I covered this news story. This happened, I don't think it happened in the UK. This is wrong. I think this happened in Sweden. Oh, look at this. An Eritrean migrant raped a schoolgirl and he escaped deportation because the judge said, and I quote, "The rape did not last long enough." This is a girl. I remember covering that news story. And when this news story blew up globally, not just in Sweden, the judge actually doubled down. He said, yeah, it didn't last long enough. That's Sweden for you. Now, let's go to America, okay? I think because America is the only sane country at the moment. Hate Trump as much as you like, but he's talking about commonsensical points. Let me share something with you. What's happening in America? Look at this woke judge, Candace Pickett. She released Steven Tyler Whitehead on bond after he opened fire on 40 to 50 teens at a party, killing Alabama cheerleader Kimber Mills and wounding others. Woke judge. Let's have a look at some more. Not going to play you the video because I think this will get, yeah, he just hits her. Random. See, this guy just walking past, this woman just walking past, doesn't make an eye contact, doesn't say anything, and he just elbows her and she is knocked out. But what's more worrying is the fact that this guy had been arrested 21 times before for similar assault charges. Why is he out? What is he doing out? This is the woke ideology that blames the system. That it's the system's fault that these people are committing crime. If we show them compassion then they wouldn't be acting like this. So let us show them compassion. He was shown compassion 21 times. And a lot of these cases end up with these guys murdering someone, okay? Look at this guy. Nationwide outrage after a career criminal with over 60 charges. 60 charges. So he must have been arrested multiple times, dozens of times. Most of us, we live our entire lives without ever getting arrested. Murdered 21-year-old. So he had 60 charges, and then he ended up murdering this U.S. Marine, Daniel Montana. So it's not just a one-off thing. I know sometimes people can be charged for multiple offenses, but then that is more of a reason for you not to release him. But I don't know. Let's just go with a conservative estimate. He would have appeared at least a dozen times to different judges, a dozen judges. Nobody thought that he should be imprisoned. And obviously there's a video of him acting out. A 92-year-old retired white school teacher was knocked to the ground by a black man with over 100 arrests. This is 60 charges. This is 21. This one is over 100 arrests. And he was still out. This doesn't end. Bryce Rhodes murders a mum of 3 kids, then smirks and blows kisses in court. The suspect had 39 arrests and 25 felonies, yet was released to kill again. These judges are releasing these animals, and ordinary people are becoming their victims. Look at this. Look what they're worried about. Stop using trans pronouns in sex crime cases. So they want to shove their pronouns on us in our daily lives, but when they commit a crime, then don't talk about their pronouns. Make that make sense. Look at this one. This is in Italy. Italian family exploded in rage after Nigerian illegal migrant Khalid D. Grota got just 12 years for murdering their dad. Just 12 years. He'll be out in 5 or 6 years. The judge cut the sentence, citing mental stress from the boat trip. The list goes on and on. I guess you get the point. So the reason why I decided to make a video on that is because Governor DeSantis is saying something. Let's have a listen.
I appreciate the legislature for passing this, but I will just say to my friends in the Florida House of Representatives, I don't think what you've done is enough. You have the power and you have sufficient numbers in your chamber to impeach this judge, Tiffany Baker. Until you start holding these judges accountable, they are going to continue to find ways to benefit the criminal element. This was an outrage. This was such an easy call to make sure that this guy was put behind bars. And this judge refused to do it, knowing the risks, and the result has obviously been a tragedy. So Florida Constitution vests the House of Representatives with the ability to bring an impeachment against a circuit judge with 2/3 majority. You know, last time I checked, we've got way more than 2/3 of Republicans. Honestly, I think some Democrats would vote to impeach given what happened in this case.
He's obviously talking about this judge who released a child rapist who was a known danger to society, while out on bail, the rapist tortured and killed a 5-year-old little girl. That girl had her whole life ahead of her, and she was sacrificed on the altar of the ideology of these woke judges. Let me share some more. Look at this guy. How is that justice to anyone? Who are you trying to look after? I'm going to play you this video. This guy, Dadabian Fortenberry of Charlotte, North Carolina, he was arrested 56 times with over 150 charges, including for assaulting women. And in this video, this is his girlfriend. He hits her with a closed fist. I'm not going to play you the video. But look at this. Look at all his mugshots. Look at all his mugshots. Look at that. He's been arrested over 56 times. Imagine you get arrested that many times, okay? So let me tell you about my idea when I first came to Australia and I saw, oh, okay, so the purpose of Western justice system is to rehabilitate, not to exact vengeance. Obviously, this was a newer idea of the early noughties. Okay, so if someone does something for the first time, let's say manslaughter or something, you give them 10, 15 years, give them a chance to rehabilitate, and then see if they come out. Okay, one chance, okay, maybe, but not lightly, 10, 15 years for manslaughter. For murder, still, sorry, bad luck. You have to come out as an old man, if you ever come out. But then if you repeat the same offense the second time, let's say domestic violence, no, that's it, you're out. You have obviously shown that you're incapable of rehabilitating. But tell me, in what universe these people think that someone could beat up a woman 56 times on 56 separate occasions and you still keep letting them out? At this point, you are literally waiting for this person to murder someone. Look at this. This news story just came out recently. A far-left Aboriginal TikTok influencer has been jailed for just 6 months for child abuse material of the worst kind by a Queensland judge who told him, "Oh, don't worry, your crimes don't define you." If my character doesn't define me, then what does? This is another disturbing story. This happened in France. See, every Western country. A 12-year-old girl in France woke up covered in blood after being gang raped by 2 adult men in an Airbnb. I'm assuming them. Definitely not French. Well, 90% chance is they were not French. Let's just go with it. A judge just released them without a restraining order, without supervised contact restrictions. Nothing. Just released them out on bail. He hasn't been exonerated. At the hearing, the child collapsed in her lawyer's office upon hearing the men were to be set free. Oh my God, I don't know. My heart sinks when I just think about what these people would be going through. And of course, who can forget this? The biggest miscarriage of justice. Actually, no, not the biggest miscarriage of justice. This is the most prominent one. Remember this Ukrainian girl, Irina Zarutska? And when Trump said, stand up for Irina, none of the Democrats stood up.
We're honored to be joined tonight by a woman who's been through hell, Anya Zarutska. In 2022, she and her beautiful daughter, so beautiful, what a beautiful young woman. Irina fled war-torn Ukraine to live with relatives near Charlotte, North Carolina. And by the way, what's going on with Charlotte? Last summer, 23-year-old Irina was riding home on the train when a deranged monster who had been arrested over a dozen times and was released through no cash bail stood up and viciously slashed a knife through her neck and body. No one will ever forget. There were people on that train. No one will ever forget the expression of terror on Irina's face as she looked up at her attacker in the last seconds of her life. She died instantly. She had escaped a brutal war only to be slain by a hardened criminal, set free to kill in America, came in through open borders. Mrs. Zarutska, tonight I promise you we will ensure justice for your magnificent daughter, Irina. How do you not stand? How do you not stand?
My mother was sitting there as a guest. And that monster was also out on bail. He had also been arrested about, 50, 60 times. But guess what? Now he can't even be put on trial. In the motion filed by Brown's public defender, he claimed the court-required capacity hearing cannot take place with the accused killer in federal custody and that the court also can't order to have his capacity restored. Brown has been in federal custody in Chicago since a grand jury indicted him on October 22nd for violence against a railroad carrier and mass transportation system causing death of Irina. He's been ordered to undergo a psychiatric evaluation pursuant to his federal case, but court filings viewed by the outlet last month show it hasn't been completed and that the evaluation period has been extended. So he can't even stand trial. So that means release him. Let him kill another person. Someone said, I am waiting for the day when these judges become their victims. But what are the odds of that? How many people are judges? And out of that, how many people are woke? Actually, pretty much every judge is a woke judge. But what are the odds of running into a judge? Next to none. What are the odds of running into an innocent bystander, innocent party like you and me? A lot. An innocent person, a lot. What's the saying? Mercy to the criminal is cruelty to the victim. So I really hope that we can pass new laws. Just impeach a few of these judges. That's it. Just impeach a few. It needs to happen in every Western country.